Many audiophiles think that panels are gimmicks, are not important. So, what do you tell them?
When we think about sound systems, we rarely think about acoustic panels at first. They are not electronics, but some audiophiles think that the room acoustic is one of the most important part of a hi-fi system, while some are doubtful though. We'll look into that today. Acoustic panels can be harmful by being made out of fiberglass or rock wool. Both materials can be detrimental. They can be harmful to your health. You basically breathe chemicals and minerals, and they can be detrimental to the environment. There's no proper way to dispose them into nature. But there's a new option in the market now. Hemp acoustic panels. Yes, hemp, the plant cousin from cannabis, the same material that the Vikings used to do their boat sails with. Hemp is a natural product. It's harmless and has no potency. You can make cosmetic with it. It's not detrimental to us. And its fiber has great acoustic qualities. Furthermore, it's ecological and affordable. Yes, affordable. This product is a true innovation from Studio Solution in Quebec, Canada. They invented acoustic panels made out of hemp and recycled materials. And all their products are handmade and supplied locally. We found that this innovative product was very interesting. So we decided to test it for you with sound measurement. So stay tuned until the end to see them. Welcome to the Bast Audiophile with your host, the Bast, an audiophile. Today we do a product evaluation, the hemp acoustic panels from Studio Solution based out of Montreal, Quebec, Canada. This new type of acoustic panel is all natural, affordable, ecological, and very efficient for room acoustics. In this episode, we'll review first the story behind these panels, then we'll look at their technical specifications, finally we'll review their efficiency. We'll measure their acoustic qualities using a software called REW that you might be familiar with. Stay tuned for the whole video because it's a real innovation that you won't see anywhere else in the market at the moment. So let's start first with the story behind these panels.
Many audiophiles think that panels are gimmicks, are not important. So, what do you tell them?
Rooms are not meant to sound good. A room in a house. If you go to a recording studio, you'll see all the walls are angled. They're made out of wood. It's really thought for that, not in a house. So when you listen to your music, you really want to have your sound system sound the best possible. You invest a lot of money in it, so you want it to shine, and you don't want to hear it with delays bouncing over the walls. You don't want to hear any resonances or standing waves that can really be annoying.
Samuel Jacques is a professional jazz pianist. He's also an audiophile who grew up in a music family. His mom is Anne Bisson, a famous singer in the audiophile world. He started to go to audio shows at 10-year-old. During the pandemic, he started to study sound engineer at McGill University. But his acoustic panel practice took off rapidly and took the shape of a proper company right away. Recently, Samuel and his team were trying to find new materials for acoustic panels. Then they invented this: a custom hemp acoustic panel with the right acoustic density in order to do this. Why hemp? Because it's efficient and affordable, but also it solves the two main problems of regular acoustic panels. First, the ecological footprint, and second, the possible health issues related to the exposition to rock wool and fiberglass. First, they had to invent hemp panels with the right density. The hemp panels they use today are custom made for Studio Solution. They use the very dense fiber to absorb bass with a density of 90 kilograms per cubic meter, which is a sweet spot for acoustic materials. Each acoustic panel presented is 2 feet by 4 feet by 2.75 inches, which is about 60 centimeter by 120 centimeter by 10 centimeters. Their frame is made out of pine wood. The cost is 225 Canadian dollars, meaning about 160 US dollars. And the bass straps that have a seal design are 450 Canadian dollars, meaning about 330 US dollars each. Yes, the bass straps are made out of sealed rubber membranes filled with hemp wool to absorb efficiently the bass. The frame is made out of thick solid wood. These bass straps are measured 2 feet by 2 feet by 8 inches, which is about 60 centimeters by 60 centimeters by 20 centimeters. Studio Solutions says that their bass traps are effective from 40 Hz up to 240 Hz. But as we will see later in this video, we saw more of a response between 50 to 270 Hz. Both the panels and the bass traps are made by hand and fully customizable. The ones I have are covered with recycled polyester fire retardant fabric. They're ecological and have tremendous acoustic capabilities. When I say that they're ecological, I mean that the recycled polyester is made from ocean waste material, meaning the water bottles and plastic bags that float on the ocean. This polyester is treated against fire and accounts for up to 10% of the panel absorption. So it plays an important role in the acoustic of the panel. The way they're built, with the attention of details and the straight lines of their foldings, all speak about the passion and expertise of the craftsmen at Studio Solution. Not every acoustic panel is built like this. Everything is built by hand in their shop. You can basically ask for any modifications you want. This is all nice, but how do these acoustic panels sound? So what do you think? With YouTube compression, did you hear any difference? You may close your eyes and listen with headphones for a clearer appreciation. I mean, it's details for some people, but I feel closer to the music with the panels and the bass trap, even without the carpet. I hear that the sound is more controlled. The bass is clearly defined with the panels and the bass traps. There's less reverberations in the mids and highs. The sound is more enveloping, more cozy, more pleasant and present, effortless. The difference is more pronounced when you are in the room rather than on the internet. These differences are also measurable with a measurement microphone, especially when you add a carpet, the panels and the bass traps, even a tiny carpet in the middle of the room. As seen in our previous episode, episode 85, where we explain how to measure a room acoustic using a free software called REW. The link is down below in the description. We've seen that my empty room has some serious issue in this episode, specifically like most small rooms in the bass region. The bass is boomy and there are important frequency cancellations in the mids and high frequencies. You can see here the measurement of my room completely empty. You see that up to 100 Hz, my room is heavy on bass. Then the mids are unequal until 1000 Hz, where you see a big dip at 2000 Hz. Then the highs come back, but never to the same level as the mids. So there's like 3 levels. When we had a small carpet, here the pink line is the carpet and the red line is the empty room, you can see that the tiny carpet has a small effect overall. But it does solve the issue of the 2000 Hz strong dip, meaning that this dip in frequencies happens mostly vertically between the floor and the ceiling. When we remove the carpet and add panels with 2 bass traps in blue, we can see that the panels and the bass traps flatten the overall frequency response of the room. If we look particularly at the bass traps, we can see that they act significantly on absorbing the bass between 50 to 270 Hz. They don't solve the bass problems from 20 to 50 Hz though, as expected, because you need a different type of bass traps for that. When we look at the acoustic of the panels, even though they are on 2 walls only, when there's 6 walls total, They act significantly on leveling the sound frequencies. Please note here that the ceiling, the floor, the back wall, and the front wall are untreated on this graphic. There's only panels on the left and right hand side. These panels on the side walls only are efficient. Even the large dip in the 2000 Hz region is partly solved by the Hemp acoustic panels. But the carpet here is more efficient for this particular problematic vertical dip. The effect of the Hemp acoustic panels with the bass traps is even more obvious when we look at the waterfall graphs. Here you see the waterfall graph of an empty room. You see clearly the problems in the bass and in the mids, with a huge dip in the 2000 Hz region. When we add 6 panels on the sidewalls and 2 bass traps, we get a much more linear response in the room. Here there's nothing else than the panels and the bass traps. There's no carpet, no diffusers, no furniture. Still, the amp proves to be clearly efficient. Overall, my room sounds more natural and cozy now, with a solution that costs 2,500 Canadian dollars or 1,850 US dollars. Music is more relaxed and not fatiguing at all. That shows that amp is not only a good option for your health, it's good for your hi-fi system as well. Of course, panels are not electronics. It's weird to say that non-electronics parts affect the sound of a hi-fi system, but it's frankly the case. Here maybe some diffusers and more bass traps could help finalize this room treatment. I hope that you have appreciated this video and this introduction to the innovation of Hemp in acoustic panels. If your actual room is untreated and that you're looking for options to improve your sound system, I seriously invite you to consider Studio Solution Hemp products. I'll put a link down below in the description. If you like this video, you'll appreciate the next one, episode 87, which is a full interview with Samuel, the principal of Studio Solution. We hope to see you in our next videos. You're kindly invited to subscribe to this channel. Finally, you might be interested in taking part of the making of these videos. For that, we invite you to join our Patreon. We hope to see you again. Until then, take care and enjoy music. Goodbye.